You ever wake up one morning and realize you're quiet? Ordinary life just got hijacked by something out of a bad soap opera. Because that's exactly how my day started. The day Patricia Whitmore shrieked, "Gun!" and shattered the peace at Oak Ridge Estate. Summoning 3 police cruisers to my driveway, sirens blaring, weapons drawn. All because my son. Michael Reynolds, back from commanding troops in Afghanistan, was hauling his duffel bag into my guest house. You can't make this stuff up. There she was in her HOA president polo, practically glowing, clutching her 3-inch thick rulebook like it was gospel. Only problem, she had no idea who she was picking a fight with. Let me rewind. I've lived in Oak Ridge Estates for 25 years. My late wife and I bought this house when Michael was a kid. Back then, it was just a quiet neighborhood with no HOA, just decent folks. No one cared if your mailbox was the wrong shade of beige or if your garden gnome looked too smug. But then, about 15 years ago, some busybodies convinced everyone to form an HOA. It started small, some landscaping rules, a modest monthly fee. I thought, sure, why not? But power, even a teaspoon of it, can twist people. No one proved that more than Patricia. She moved in after her husband passed, and before anyone blinked, she was the HOA president. Suddenly, she was patrolling the neighborhood with her pink notebook, issuing citations for basketball hoops and unauthorized flags. She even fined a veteran for flying the American flag, called it disruptive. Somehow, she kept her grip. On power, I kept my lawn trimmed and my mouth shut. That is, until Michael called to say he was coming home to decompress. I told him the guest house was his. No brainer. I started fixing up the place, repainting, patching the roof. Nothing major. Then came Patricia, that signature Marcus, what exactly are you doing? She asked, sugary as ever. I explained it was for my son. Her eyebrows shot up. Oh, but Marcus, the new regulations: no tenants without board approval, no short-term stays, all occupants must be My patience wore thin. I told her, Patricia, it's my son, not a tenant. She doubled down. Separate dwelling units must comply. Only family over 65 or under 18 permitted. I nearly laughed. That guest house had been there for 20 years, long before the HOA. She handed me a printout of so many rules. My head spun: no kitchens, no separate entrances. I said it was grandfathered in. Her smile cracked. There are no grandfather provisions. She said, either bring it up to code or keep it empty, or it's $100 a day in fines. The next morning, an official notice taped to the guest house door in red letters. Violation. Welcome home, Michael. I called Jessica Quinn, a sharp attorney I'd worked with before. She laughed when she heard the story. Classic HOA overreach, she said. They can't apply new rules retroactively, and that age restriction, that's begging for a discrimination lawsuit. She told me to document everything, ignore the threats, prep the guest house. When Michael came home, walking through that terminal, straight-backed but older than 35 should look, I cried. When we pulled up, Rosa Martinez from next door ran over, warned us, watch out for that Whitmore woman, then spilled some tea. Patricia used to be a legal secretary at a high-powered firm, got fired for falsifying documents. She knows how to fake it, Michael said, but not the law. Next day, Jessica texted, emergency HOA meeting tonight. Topic: security concerns. In the newsletter, a new bylaw banning guest house occupancy for anyone between 18 and 65, military or not. What stood out was the formatting. It didn't match previous documents. Michael caught it right away. Dad, this is fraud. Patricia was racing to push fake amendments through. That night, Michael showed up in full dress uniform, medals gleaming. The room went silent. Patricia stuttered but tried to hold her ground. Security concerns have been raised, she began. Michael's voice cut through. By whom? Exactly. Just then, Sheriff Deacon, who used to serve under Michael, walked in, saw him, and snapped to attention. Major Reynolds. Patricia's face turned pale. Still, she pushed forward, reading out her fake amendment. That's when I stood up and laid it all out. Retroactive enforcement is illegal. Discrimination against vets is a federal lawsuit waiting to happen. Sheriff Deacon backed us. The tide turned. Neighbors who'd been silent started shouting her down. She called for a vote. Her proposal tanked. I thought it was over. I was wrong. Next day, Michael's out fixing our old fence when suddenly, sirens wail, cops jump out, guns drawn. Patricia's grinning on the curb. He's armed, she claimed. His weapon was a tape measure. It would have been funny if it weren't so dangerous. Sheriff Deacon took control and made it clear Patricia had filed a false report. That night, our security cams caught her snooping around the guest house, peering in windows, jiggling doorknobs. I changed the locks, filed a police report, gave it all to Jessica. She's crossed the line, Jessica said. This is criminal, Patricia escalated. A smear piece aired on the news-cropped photos of Michael in uniform. Patricia quoted saying, combat vets posed a safety risk, but Rosa's niece, Diane, a real journalist, ran a full expose Patricia's forged bylaws, falsified documents, and planned to remove undesirable. Then came the twist. Jim Parker, her right-hand man on city council, showed up at my door, ghost-white, handed me a flash drive. I can't be part of this anymore. The files revealed emails between Patricia and developers. She'd been orchestrating a scheme to tank property values, scare homeowners, and let her developer friends swoop in and buy cheap. My property was top of the list. The story blew wide open. State investigators got involved. Neighbors started piecing it together. Gerald, down the street, realized his citations lined up with her development map. Patricia went scorched-earth fake court summons, threats of property liens, even tried forging legal documents. Jessica and Sheriff Deacon looped in the DA charges. Followed document forgery, fraud, harassment. Patricia claimed Michael was dangerous, citing PTSD. She ignored the fact he's a published expert in trauma care. The courtroom was full veterans, shoulder to shoulder. Neighbors behind us. The judge, a Marine vet himself, saw right through it. Jessica shredded Patricia's lies. Emails confirmed the development plot, injunction denied. Cease and desist issued, charges pending. The next day, Patricia snapped, ranting in the street about unauthorized military installations, pointing at TV antennas, screaming about satellites. Sheriff Deacon and a mental health team gently escorted her away. That afternoon, the neighborhood gathered at Rosa's patio. People shared their stories, years of manipulation, threats, silence. Michael stood up and said, leadership is about service, not control. By the end of the summer, Patricia was in treatment. The DA was building a case, and a new HOA board led by Roz was rewriting the bylaws. We cleaned up common areas, built a veterans memorial garden, and opened the guest house to vets transitioning to civilian life. Community came back, one built on trust, not threats. When Michael got reassigned to the Pentagon, the neighborhood threw him a barbecue just for his service, but for helping us remember what home means. If you've ever stared down a bully in your own neighborhood, HOA or otherwise, remember, they only win if we stay silent. Speak up, stand together. That's how real change happens, not just in court, but in how people come together afterward. If this hit home, I want to hear from you. What's your take on HOA power, justice, or what makes a neighborhood feel like home?